What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman, aka Allfires. Now, you may have heard already, but there's this little writer's strike going down in Hollywood, and quite honestly, guys, and on a side note from what this video is about, it could get much worse. The Screen Actors Guild, the Directors Guild, they could end up going on strike as well. It's all having to do with streaming revenue. Topic for a different video, but needless to say, we all stand on the side of the writers, actors, and directors to get more money as a part of their sharing agreement. In the meantime, we have a huge story today about a prominent writer at the MCU and writing on Avengers 5, leaving the project apparently not to do with the strike, but rather before the strike even went down. And because of his recent involvement with certain Marvel projects and what's been going on at Marvel, this is an extremely interesting and foretelling story. We're going to break down the particulars, where this is coming from because it spread like wildfire this morning after it broke, the possible reasons why this writer left the project and or was replaced, and what this says about Marvel as a whole. There's also at least one really interesting director option that may now be in play that he's no longer writing Avengers 5. We're breaking it all down, Avengers KANG DYNASTY and Jeff Loveness leaving the project. But first, if you could grab the subscribe button. We do daily Marvel content at the channel, and that's all we do. Everything from official Easter egg breakdowns, trailers, and reviews to the occasional industry insider report and everything in between. So if that sort of thing's for you, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below. That will automatically enter you to win our ongoing PS5 giveaway, which is right around the corner to coincide with Secret Invasion. Again, all you got to do is be a sub, leave a comment, stick around to the end of the video. We get into all the giveaway stuff again there. So again, while this was coming from almost every source re-reported this morning, this originally comes from industry insider and scoopster Jeff Snyder, who indicated Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania screenwriter Jeff Loveness is, quote, no longer writing Avengers 5 KANG DYNASTY and departed the project prior to the strike. Now, what you guys won't know is that from here on forward in the video, this is like the fourth or fifth time I've done it because I've had a really hard time explaining my full view. This is actually a complex issue with multiple layers, and writing is the thing I care most about. I am a writer, and it's been where my gripe has been primarily. So give me a moment to express my thoughts as they pertain to details, and let me try to paint a picture of what's really going on for you guys, because it's not solely the writer's fault. What spurred me to say all this in the first place was the resounding sentiment amongst comments both on Reddit and YouTube, people hearing this news and being positive about it, saying this is great that Jeff Loveness left. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania was a mess. He didn't do a good job on the script. This is also probably the time to mention that regardless of how much people like me or Marvel fans like the film, it didn't do as well as they suspected it would do at the box office. It performed less than other Marvel movies, especially for as much money as they spent on it. Guys, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania lost money, only by about tens of thousands, but it wasn't a profitable film. Now, recently, some people were taking aim at Michael Waldron on Twitter, and Xochitl Gomez took to defending him, saying that Multiverse of Madness had 33 rewrites. And what I've said about the Marvel Studios movies and basically their whole direction and production with what they want to do is they have not been spending enough time with the scripts while they've been written in pre-production, and rather just relied on reshoots, rewrites, and movie by committee. And that's why some of the Marvel films we've seen during the end of Phase 4 especially, really didn't feel like the Marvel of old because they didn't have a succinct voice. We didn't see Marcus and McFeely's vision coming to the screen. We didn't see the direction of the Russo brothers. What we saw was a homogenized, watered-down version of someone's original script and direction. Someone like Peyton Reed had been behind the camera for Marvel, 2 previous successful Ant-Man films, and still he was forced through what WB did over to the original Justice League film, where you just water it down and turn it into something that it wasn't originally meant to be. That's why, even if you can get a good product at the end, it will never be as successful as allowing a writer to express his succinct vision and seeing it through to the end, regardless of what that film means. And that's why at the channel, that's all I've been asking for. So I do not blame Jeff Loveness for the mess that Quantumania is. I definitely don't blame Michael Waldron for the mess that became parts of Multiverse of Madness. Rather, it's a testament to Michael Waldron's writing that story still as good as it is. And there were 33 rewrites. We could still see parts of his vision and tone in that film, regardless of how much they watered it down. But if the script wasn't up to par, if what Jeff Loveness had written for Avengers 5 wasn't what they were looking for in a film, that's what possibly led to this split. Not mostly a quality control issue, but just with them wanting to do something different. And this is what brings me to my final point, sort of what I made in the prologue as a director's option that stems out of this. Very often, directors have writers that they prefer to work with. That's why the Russos worked with Marcus and McFeely writing their Marvel projects. We also heard in an exclusive from Geekosity and friend of the channel Mikey Sutton last October, in a report that flew under the radar. I broke the exclusive at the channel, it was not re-reported anywhere and I couldn't believe it, that the Russos were still the #1 option for Marvel Studios to direct Avengers Secret Wars. We also heard Michael Waldron was writing Secret Wars, so at the time I said that's not probable because Michael Waldron hasn't written for the Russos before. There's not an obvious pairing there. I don't think it'll end up being him. There were some names I floated out at the time. The Russos immediately came out in an interview. Weeks later, I believe, it was in an interview for Agbo, their production company, and maybe it was Gray Man that was coming out at the time, but they said that technically with all of their commitments for their production company in Agbo, the films they were looking to do, that they wouldn't even have time before the end of the decade anyway. Now we hear that the current writer on Avengers 5 is leaving the project. Destin Daniel Cretton is for sure going to direct it. 100%, they're not going to take that away from him. They're actually giving him more projects. But it's leaving the door wide open for Secret Wars as they start to push these films further and further back. They've already moved Secret Wars once. We've heard they might move it again to 2027, maybe 2028. Them taking a look at the scripts and re-examining the writers, I think makes it even more possible for the Russos to return for Secret Wars and for them to bring Marcus and McFeely back. But I want to be very succinct about this. As it pertains to Avengers 5 King Dynasty, there is no way in the world they'll take that away from Destin Daniel Cretton. He did way too good with Shang-Chi 1. He's obviously going to direct Shang-Chi 2, and he's doing the production direction and probably going to direct a couple episodes of Wonder Man. I think there's a good chance Destin Daniel Cretton will also end up writing Avengers 5. And if I had to guess, and this is purely speculation from the outside in, it might not have even been a QC issue with the script in the first place. Destin Daniel Cretton may have read the script, seen what was going on. It might not be the direction he wanted to go with what Jeff Loveness had written. And that is why the pairing of the writer and the director has to be lockstep for these movies to feel the way we want them to, like classic Marvel at the end of the Infinity Saga. And just to make my point even more clear, even though the first Captain Marvel film is not one of my favorites, and I also think Brie Larson did an amazing job with the character development for a super cocky character, you might not have liked her, but that was kind of the point. I felt like that first Captain Marvel movie was a great example of when the writer and the director aren't in lockstep, and there are some very weird tonal clashes and mismatched moments during that film that sort of put me in mind of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, i.e. movie by committee, not the same voice. Guys, I know this has not been my most eloquent video. I sort of stumbled over my words a couple of times, but I think I got it out this time as clear as I wanted to say it, so I'm not going to re-edit this. I hope you guys get what I'm saying. I ultimately do want them to spend way more time in pre-production. I don't care if they have to hire 4 writers. Get the script right first. Then you know the voice and the intention of the script, the director can commit that to film, and then there's not 1 million rewrites, 1 million reshoots, movie by committee. You don't end up with the mess that's Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Guys, let me know all your thoughts down below. As always, quickly, let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. Okay, we're still giving away PlayStation 5s. We're not doing it at subscriber milestones now. It's just when Marvel movies or TV shows release. We just gave one away last week to coincide with Guardians. The next PlayStation 5 is a month away for Secret Invasion. If you want to be entered to win, all the same rules will always apply. Hit the subscribe button because you need to be a subscriber, then leave a comment down below because it's truly random. The more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. All winners will always be announced live with my voice in the comments shown on screen, so please be safe on my channel, other channels, really any platform, and kindly report all comments that are phishing trying to tell you that you won a prize. The best way to keep up with the content has always been to hit the notification bell with all notifications turned on. And as always, if you liked today's video, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit the like button. My name's Michael Roman. Find me on Instagram and Twitter at IamFires. Find me on all platforms with original music under the name All Fires. Thanks for checking out the channel, guys. Stick around. We'll be posting again real soon.